Hey guys, I guess it can be not so loud. Yeah. So my name is Michael Verlanov. I work for SoftServe for the last 10 years, and it actually was my first company, a real IT company that I have started working in, and I still working there. And through this time, I had some very challenging transformation to my personality. And I evolved from, I guess, very bad software developer to like maybe a bit better quality assurance manager, and then to project manager, and after that I became a product manager. And now, like during this time, I transitioned through different stages of my life and to face different problems. And I believe that, please raise your hands who work as project managers in your current companies now, or who work now. Okay, and who used to work. Okay, and who is developer? Okay, and who is doing something else like marketing, I guess. Okay, cool. Excellent. And then I would like to ask you a question. Please raise your hand who work for 6 hours a day. 6 hours.
Are you kidding?
Okay. Okay, who works 7? 8? 9? Okay, 10? 12? Okay, who more than 12? Because it starts to be very personal. Okay, cool. Okay, excellent. So I guess we're completely in sync, and I will tell you a story. Like I would like to start with a quote. So by Drucker, and management is doing things right, and leadership is doing the right thing. And how do you think, what is more important?
Depends on context.
Okay, so who thinks that like if you do the right thing, but actually will work for 6 hours, will you be there? Like, will you meet your goals? Comparing to the person who will do right thing for 12 hours? Okay, and vice versa, like how successful can be a person who doing things right, but not the right things, right? It's very interesting question, and I guess we'll try to dig deeper in that. And I would like to start with a story. So I joined my company as 4-year student of Lviv Polytechnic University, and I was shocked because it was my first real work. I was sitting in front of computer all day, actually things that I loved, and I was doing things that was not so hard, and they were paying money for that. It was super exciting, and I started working harder, like for 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day. I remember like in my first half a year, I worked for half of my weekends because it was so exciting. And in half a year, like people call it extra mile. Yes, I was doing extra miles. And in half a year, like I was recognized, and they say, "Hey, you're working really hard. Let's promote you. Let's give you 2 people, and you will tell them how to do your work better." I said, "Okay." Then I worked even harder. I was responsible for 2 people. I worked for another half a year. I was again recognized, and they moved me to another project, and where I was a single guy who doing that stuff that I was doing. And again, I was doing it harder, better. And I was promoted again. And in that end up that in a couple of years, I became a 22-year-old project manager. Like really weird thing. Actually, like I was called project coordinator, but still like project manager. So I had people, I had P&L, like I was delivering projects and like the real stuff. And again, I was working hard. And does anybody has a problem when you work when, so you're a manager and you have people and you try to formalize how you work with client as much as you can. And actually people like your team is doing exactly that you said as you formalized, but actually it has no value to client. Does anybody has this situation? So you do all like in time and budget and specification, and actually nobody is satisfied. Like people overworked, client doesn't meet like his commitments in front of his boss, like, or failed on the market, like everybody not satisfied. And what you do, like in this situation when you like not really experienced enough, my idea was that get things done can lead to success, and I guess something wrong with that. And so basically, after a while, so I mastered an art on a small project that if you work really hard and like you dig into the problem by yourself, you go and micromanage your developers and actually control everything, you're actually like successful for this case. And then I was promoted again to a project where it was 150 people and there was like 5 managers more experienced than me who worked like round the clock, and I just had no chance to overwork them. Well, like completely, that they were crazy, like machines, robots. And actually, project sucked. Client was not satisfied at all. But everybody was like working so hard, like so crazy, like, and like it just broke like this concept completely, that you just cannot be a robot and work and work and work and like never get everything done by yourself. And then basically I thought that maybe ladder that I was climbing by doing things done is actually put against the wrong building. Probably it's not right way, that you just like work your ass off and like you never delivering anything. And I start to ask questions. Am I doing the right thing? What are my personal goals and what I personally want? Do I want to work my ass off like till the end of my life? So like it's very hard. And so the moment of truth was for me when they sent me for half a year on site, on client side in this project, 150 people, and I saw everything from other side, and it was terrible. It was like a huge tank, point his barrel in one place, and shoots like 1 point. And when he needs to like turn his turret, it takes so much time and so much effort from a client to actually turn this turret that he like start actually asking questions whenever they need people who actually do not want to adopt any change at all, that they want to formalize everything, tell me what to do, I will do it like whenever I can, like 12 hours a day for 5 manager, 150 people. Like you can imagine what amount of like useless work this project can produce. and I ask myself how I can like introduce the change to this project. How can I get the idea, get the vision of those people, of the client, and try to move the turret of this tank faster. And like actually in this particular project, I never done that. I tried like read some books, but never done it. It came to me like I guess in 5 years, actually, the probable recipe that can solve it. But basically, you need to answer who you are. So probably everybody knows like this adhesives, vitamins, adhesives things. And it's not point like to take a test and like I'm a producer, an entrepreneur or something. But I want you to think about this thing. You see this producer guy, right? Is actually who I used to be, right? Or people who work 12 hours a day, maybe you're also a producer. And they focus on like outputs and on detail of the project. But they do not focus actually on big picture, like entrepreneur does. And actually, these two things are pretty like different sides of a spectrum. And if you look at typical pyramid, organizational chart of organization, it looks like that. That's like people who work 12 hours a day actually like never get here if they will be producers. Like never. So you never be invited to this club. It's a trap. So you climb this ladder, somebody can climb this for all his life and like just be monitored and assessed by some administrator guys who will came up with some weird KPIs, OKRs, goals. You never made them. Like it's a trap, complete trap. Like what we should do. Like, and then I was like studying this even deeper and deeper and want to look at an organizational chart, right? It's basically how it's supposed to look like, right? You have some structure, but actually it looks like that. It's never so linear, and like it's really awesome. Like I really love this picture. It came from holacracy.org, and they have this really great concept of like no hierarchy in your organization. But point not in that, but it's really like you never be like promoted to this club unless you like play golf with this guy or like you have secret gay crush. And usually it's end up like that. Yeah, right. For box a cigar. So what we should do, and like let's look at that. What do you think of that? It's like 19th century workplace. Yeah. Right? Okay. Maybe like this, right? Very similar. And then something changed, like this not look like this working place. It's Google Campus. But what happened? Like what happened? Why they transitioned from like slavery to like slavery with with fun stuff. So okay, it's a good point. Like, but actually, I tried to pull up a table. Like, it's not super scientific. I understand, but like it should sell a concept, right? In 19th century, they have almost no change for years. Like you like do some shoes or something for like generation, and it's okay. Usually they have like monopolies because there was no government regulations. Like it was evolving market economy. Like people, like you just hire people from streets, no skills whatsoever, introduce processes, they do stuff, they die in the workplace, you throw them away, and okay, everyone was good. And it's like, what tools they use for that? Power, fear, authority, control, reusable resources, like people, reusable resources. And they focused on founder profit. Then, like in 20th century, if you read those economic books or Peter Drucker, so they invented a knowledge worker. Do you know like the concept of knowledge worker? Who know? Like, please raise your hand. Okay, so like not a lot in audience. So basically, to get things done, you need to invest in person, and he should know at least something, and he should evolve like. Actually, like engineers should learn all through his life new things. So basically, it's not longer a reusable resource, right? It's really expensive to lose your people. So they start thinking about different things, but what stopped they? So basically, like change still like cycle in years. You can like introduce a product and sell it for 20 years. It's typical for 20th century. Markets mature, usually occupied by some corporations that actually evolved from these guys, like knowledge workers. And basically what these knowledge workers want, they want car, house, healthcare. They actually, you can bribe them by the money, because they still like they one step here, like in probably like in Maslow pyramid, right? They first level was here. Now they like somewhere over here, or you can give them a ward. And so they have tools like power, fear, boss authority, hierarchy, monitor and control, money is motivator, and corporate centric. And in 21st centuries, like a lot of things changed. Changes can be like done in a month. Somebody released like new processor or new technology, everything changed. Competing markets, new niches, like spread of information very fast, extreme competition, highly skilled resources, and they looking for self-realization. And those guys are actually completely different human beings to those guys. And you never manage them with those skills. Because for some, in Ukraine, we might be, for some companies, like we can be still here, but in West, especially in Silicon Valley, in like our tech leaders, our visionaries, like you should be that. You hear this, like Elon Musk, he invented a school specific for kids of employees. So he's like really like pushing to like to evolve, to like invest in people, develop people. Organization is human-centric, like leaders versus bosses, like mission, vision, inspiration, empathy, trust and delegation. And it's completely different approaches. And as product managers, like we should really think whenever these tools can lead us to be a successful product manager or successful project manager, it's really a question. So, and again, this pyramid that currently people are here, self-realization. And also, like I put up another chart, so where I put leadership and management on one chart, and basically we have 4 types of companies. For example, if we have low leadership and low management, we have a typical governmental institution. Like they don't care about nothing, they save, they do not need to compete with anybody, they just exist. Then we have high leadership organization. It's typical startups. They have a lot of leadership, they innovative, that they adapt to changes super rapidly, even more rapidly than it's needed. And if organization grow to certain size, it will be on edge of chaos. Like, because you cannot manage, like actually there is no manage, like it's only leadership. And then we have this high management, low leadership companies. It's basically bureaucratic companies that occupy big market share in their domain, and they save until Amazon gets on their way, or Tesla, or whatever, like more nimble, more innovative company that actually embrace leadership and management together. They satisfy current stakeholders and they can adapt to a change. So basically these things, leadership and management, should live together to produce a good result. So let's look at the picture, and probably you see like dozens of the pictures in the internet where they compare managers versus leaders and show this like old management paradigm stereotypes, which was in management 2.0 for knowledge workers, and like new kinds of management or leadership, and you should really practice those skills. And basically you can summarize everything in this picture, that leader is part of the team, manager is like just asking people to do. And now let's think about product managers. So, or like actually concept of, can you be a successful product manager if you need to stack and take a look and manage and control all the people throughout organization by this old paradigm? Like, it's impossible. You really need to be like six-handed monster that work 24 hours a day with no sleep, and still result is not guaranteed. You need to practice those leadership skills. You need to send and declare values, mission, vision. You should push on empathy. You should make your team do decisions and do stuff that will move you towards your goal. It's the only way how you actually can introduce change, make people follow you, and produce good results. And you never will be able to do this by reading book, get things done and done all tasks for all the projects in your portfolio. And like where you should take an inspiration, right? It's, you remember who play computer games? Okay. Do you like other this kind of the person in the audience who before they start playing game open settings and look for controls? Okay, talk to them. Okay, so I assume that everybody else just open a game and try to figure out how to achieve their goals without knowing actually the controls, right? So it's part of the game, right? Yeah. So you should really, in order to play your game and master it, you should open the controls, look what you can do. Then probably you should go to YouTube or elsewhere and watch how other guys play this game, right? And actually, if you do these two things, how fast you will become better player than those guys who are still trying to figure out the controls. Like much faster, right? So guys, read books. Yeah, our business, product management and management is a game where it's a settings where you can look up for the controls and you can go and watch YouTube or read the book how other guys play this. Everything is there. No secrets. Just do it. Like an inspiration, why? Why you should do that, right? So why you just cannot have fun? Because maybe you want to be, not to work 12 hours a day till the end of your life, right? And probably on some point of your career, you will achieve this, that there are like people who is not in your direct subordinates, but do work towards your goal, right? And this recipe in these books and in settings of your game. That's why you need to do that. And also, this main message, build product, not deliver project. Because there is millions of ways how you can deliver a project that will fail. But if you build a product, actually you have customer in mind. You build it for people who need it, who want it, and who will buy it. And projects, nobody wants a project. Actually, world will be much better place if like people can achieve their things without having a project. If they just think about something and their problem is solved. It's the best scenario. Nobody needs projects. You know, like the story for like pen in space. Like everybody knows this thing? No? NASA invested, like, introduced a problem to the market. We need to invade pen to write in space because there's no gravity and ink does not go through the gravity. And one company actually like produced a concept which cost like $1 million, like pen with pressurized chamber that will push ink out. And other companies said, like, actually it's like legend that says it's Soviet Union astronaut, they use pencil. Or it's not true, so I said it's legend. And another legend in this project is actually not took place. So like it took place? Oh, okay, just for fun. Pencil, yeah. Yeah, so but basically it's, they try to solve the problem. So they not try to solve a problem, they like wanted to have a project. Okay. Okay, you should talk together. I said like those were the legends, like, and you know the story, so yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, but they said that they throw away $1 million. Okay, and what became an inspiration for me? So you all probably like use these trains, right? So it's train that you can get from Lviv to Kiev reasonably fast. And one time I was like traveling by this train, like during the opening of these trains, and I was sitting on this train, like working on my project, and I thought that, hey, like this train is somebody's project, right? And I'm a user, and I really like how it's built. Like it's much more comfortable than previous one. Using it, I will use it for the next 20 years. And probably a lot of people will say thank you for people who developed it, because it actually gets job done, right? And I thought, what am I doing on my work? Am I building something that somebody will use and think that it's built for me to solve my problems and actually be delighted with that? So it was like another moment in my career when I thought that I need to stop deliver a project and start to build a product. So it's all from me for today. So thank you for your attention and have a fun day. Yes.
How about your working hours? How long?
Yeah, so now I have kids. So I have 2 jobs, right? And I cannot like spend 14 plus hours on my work like anymore. So I need to work less, and maybe it's the reason why I start digging into this and actually start to building teams which actually works towards the goal without me in the office. I'm still mastering it, but so my answer is like not more than 9, like not more than 9, because my other boss will be angry. Okay, any more questions? Okay.
Thank you. What was your decision that switched you from the manager to the leader? How do you think? What was the main decision?
Failed project. Like big fail. Yeah, there's.
Hello. If you want to make a result, guarantee result, and you have challenge, and you want to show your guys that it is possible to do. But if you delegate them, it can be more медленнее, less faster. Okay.
Less faster. Yeah, good word. Yeah. It's like half empty glass, right?
Yeah. How do you think about what this delegation is? Is it correct to do? If they may think if risk, if you delegate, it's not be guarantee, and all the guys can say, oh, it's not working, you're wrong, and so on. And if you do it, okay, you do it, you get the thing done, but you work 14 hours or 18 hours, and you are not happy. In this case,
the last word is like key to that. Like you will not be happy, but the question will be job done. So if the problem is that you know that some task, like it takes you 30 minutes to do, and if you delegate it to somebody, he will do it for 1 day, right? Super inefficient. But think another way. If you delegate all those tasks to free up another 8 hours of your day, and you will do with super efficiency completely different things, like to those that you delegate, will it move the project towards his goal like closer than actually stacking with those things that actually like you have to done yourself? You see? So you invest, so it's like investment. It will pay off in a time. You like delegate something to the person, it will take 1 day to do it like for 1 month, then in other months it will be half day, and in half a year it will be the same 30 minutes as you. And basically, if you delegate everything, like in half a year, productivity of your team will be like 10x. So, and the key is like you're not happy when it took more time that to done that you can do. Think about yourself. Be okay with that. Like, just you delegate. Yes, I accept risks. It's longer, but I'm still happy because I can focus on other things. Excuse me? Yeah, and you will be happy that you're not doing that. And so, and also like you should invest in your people, because you do not have like right amount of trust to your people. So because they do not have skills. And if you invest in your people, they go to the same training that you took to actually give you inspiration to do this job, maybe this person will make this task even better than you. And try make people around you better than you, and your goal should be to be the dumbest person in the room. Like, yeah, you're welcome. Yes.
Спасибо за доклад, сори. Как ты формируешь свои цели как продакт-менеджер? Как ты их трекаешь и что такое успешность?
So success is actually success on the market. So like your market can be like, it depends on your product, right? So, but basically the ultimate goal of your project is satisfy your customer needs. And the only thing that you should measure for yourself and for success of your project is how successful your product on their market. And know how many story points you delivered this sprint and how your velocity like went up in last quarter. Like it's not relevant to success at all. So like only metrics, or so like I have like different tools to do that. Like I can just make calls to the customers directly if I like have this opportunity to do that. Like I can do surveys, analytics. There are like millions of tools like that you can use currently to actually understand like how people use it and whenever they solve their problems. Okay. Goals, like you should set goals, right? So if you, so it depends. If it's your product, like, and my case. So basically, yeah. So like company that I work for, they like aiming for some level of adoption of these products among their existing portfolio. So like I'm measuring like how like percentages of covering the whole portfolio by my product. So we have like old version, new version, like that. Okay, so like guy
Hey there. Well, first of all, thank you for the speech. It's interesting to know the leadership aspects. For myself, I evolved as you are, but from the customer support and to the VP of product, after all. And what I'd like to say is not just a comment, it's rather a suggestion to you. I noticed that in the presentation you mentioned about the Simon Sinek, who is really an adorable leader, and he teach how to be a leader and show how. So you referenced it to a book, Start With Why, which is awesome concept. Like a month ago, he ended up with a new book, Find Your Why. And I already had it, already read it. It is quite awesome, and I think you love it. It's just a suggestion.
Okay, like another book to my reading list, which is like very long. Yeah, but yeah, thanks. Any more questions? Yeah.
Please tell how do you build empathy to your team and share some motivation tricks to move forward, to move progress.
Yeah, it really depends who your team are. Like people are different. It's really helpful to know like what things are actually good motivators for them. There are different people who, for example, love figures, right? Those administrators. If you will say that I read a study that Deloitte like evaluate how goats love carrots, and they said that 32% of goats love carrots, and I went to village and actually tried it, and like goat do not love carrots. Like I got this 60%, so I persuade this guy because he loved figures, and then I backed up that with my personal experience. So basically, you're preaching. So every meeting that you have with your team, you should state why you do that. Like what are our goals? Why we are doing that? Why this decision will like, and you should also, when you make any decisions, you should give your rationale why you take this decision in this way. And usually because this decision leads us to the goal. And basically you start and give, you know this tale about father who gives fishing rod and fish to different sons? So basically one son got fish, other son got fishing rope. And son with got fishing rope was very upset because like he had nothing to eat. But in a while, he had a fishing rod, so he was managed to catch fish himself. Another guy like ate all the fish and like was starving. So basically, it's the same concept. You should say why you take these decisions, why, what are our goals, and basically in a like matter of months, people start to make decisions themselves because they know how you make decisions, and that will keep you much closer and to build the empathy and to make self-managed team. So they should be able to make decisions, and you should learn them how to do that. Okay, any more questions? Okay.
Thank you for your presentation. I have one quick question. Since the time you started, change your approach from producer to entrepreneur probably and change your leadership style, what biggest difficulties have you encountered? What I mean is, like, for example, people have gotten used to work in a specific way for many years, and now you're trying to change kind of the existing culture. So what was the biggest issue in this kind of changing process?
Yeah, biggest issue like is very simple. Before, you just listen what people want you to do, and you try to do that. And now each time when somebody asks you to do something, you should come up with all the plan, all the vision that you have in your head, see if this decision or this task is actually make you closer to your goal, and if not, you should or say no, or figure out a way to make this task in a way that will closer to your goal, but you need to persuade and sell this approach to this person. So basically, previously I almost I was yes man, right? So will you do it? Yes. Will you do it? Yes. I want to be right guy. I want to climb the ladder. Yes. And now you should be no guy, and it's hard. So it's very hard. And people start to respect that because you have your own opinion, and they see that you have a plan, and probably they don't. So they give you a task, maybe because it's something that was from top of your head, and when you give the full picture, they said, like this thing like might work. I will invest in that, and then like you got better resources, like better people, support, like so. It's really this dramatic change. So you should work with yourself and like say no. Like more questions? Okay.
Hello, Michael. I wonder, how often do you fire people? Like, do you do it?
Yeah. So, like in our industry, like it's not really firing people, but actually make the certain environment to this guy to make him go away by himself. So it's not like a common thing, but yes, I do it like a couple times in a year. Yeah, I do this environment. Yeah, it's really hard to like you can fire somebody if you have very strict constraints, right? If you have like a project that's like budget was cut and like you need to like really figure out the way to do that, and there is no way except like cutting people. Yeah, so I have never been in this situation, sorry. Like, but in situation that there were certain people in my team that do not share my values, goals, was not working towards the common goal, so I let him go. Okay, I guess thank you for your attention.